Hello, my name's Nat. Let's see what's making news. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has met with U.S. President Donald Trump just days after Mr. Trump held high-stakes talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin about the war in Ukraine. Joe found out more.
It was a much better visit to the White House for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy than the last time he was there in February.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. You're gambling with World War III.
Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
This time, President Zelenskyy did wear a suit.
You look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
But they weren't there to chat about outfits. Joined by other leaders from Europe, the pair discussed ways to end the war in Ukraine, just days after a meeting between Mr. Trump and Russia's President Vladimir Putin.
The Alaska summit reinforced my belief that while difficult, peace is within reach, and I believe that.
European leaders pushed for a temporary ceasefire while a deal to end the war is worked out. President Trump said he didn't think that was necessary, but that the US would keep supporting Ukraine. Now, he wants to organise a meeting between President Putin and President Zelenskyy.
We're going to try and get a three-party meeting, maybe as soon as we can. And I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out.
Ukraine will never stop on the way to peace, and we are ready for any kind of formats, but on the level of leaders.
Google's in a bit of hot water with Australia's consumer watchdog. The tech giant has just agreed to cough up a $55 million penalty after they were found to be paying Optus and Telstra to prioritise Google search over other search engines on Android phones sold between December 2019 and March 2021, something the ACCC said was anti-competitive and illegal. So Google's now agreed to tweak their contracts with the telcos.
For rival search providers, it gives greater opportunity for them to offer new services to Australian consumers.
Recently, Melbourne's Lord Mayor suggested ditching the 4-season calendar and replacing it with a 6-season Wurundjeri calendar. Sass found out more about the different seasonal calendars used by First Nations people.
Right now, in most of the country, it's pretty cold. What? 32 degrees in Darwin in the middle of winter? But yeah, there are some places where it's, well, quite warm. You see, Australia is pretty big. And we have lots of different weather patterns, which is something First Nations people have tracked for thousands of years, with their own seasonal calendars. This is Carl Telfer. He's an artist and storyteller who produced the Kurikuru exhibition that explores the 6 different seasons of the Ghana Mayana. There are many different First Nations seasonal calendars around the country, like the Nungi calendar from the Northern Territory, which has 13 seasons, or the Wurundjeri calendar in Victoria, which has 6 seasons. And recently, Melbourne's Lord Mayor Nicholas Rees said Melbourne, or NAM, would be better off adopting the Wurundjeri calendar, something many, including Carl, think we should be doing right across the country.
The English 4 seasons, they come from north of the equator, but this is the south of the equator, so this is totally different systems that we're talking about, and weather patterns and currents and all sorts of different things. So my question was, well, why do we have that if that doesn't work, you know?
Now it's time for some stories that'll make your stomach flip. Yippee! Someone's happy. First up, to Cabarita Beach on the New South Wales north coast, where this surfer has just had a close encounter with a shark.
It was just an explosion. The board went exploding, one half went that way, one half went that way.
A drone video taken shortly after spotted this large shark nearby, thought to be 4 metres long. The beach was closed for the rest of the day while authorities investigated. Now to China, where a 1 kilometre long slackline between 2 stone hills has set the stage for this year's Slackline Championships. 20 competitors from all over the world are taking part in the 3-day event to see who can compete the slackline the fastest. And finally, to Paraguay, where a Soapbox Car Race is underway. Soapbox cars don't have engines. They rely on a big push and letting gravity do the rest. And while most of them were fitted with brakes, sandbags made for a good backup. More than 50 cars took part in this year's event. Well, that's all from us today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.